right. Dude, I love that you're my one friend who's like, dude, we should go live on YouTube right now.
We
all
should.
The time.
Because
every time you show up, you're like, dude, we should go live right now.
To me, it's just kind of like when you're in a studio with some laptops, a hookups, a switchboard, microphones, an ability, and yeah. So, and then you hear yourself when you go, no.
Sorry.
But no, it's just it's fun to come on, and I'm trying to hone this in. So instead of talking about the overcooked, I think roasted, like the Matthew Kachuk fire was put out real quickly inside of a week. The Juan Soto is going to stretch on until Tuesday evening. Maybe we'll have something to give you next week. Deep tease early on, John.
All right.
We may have kind of a beefed up in the buff. Oh, I like that. Beefed up in the buff.
Beef up in the
buff.
It's
like a value menu meal item at Taco Bell for $2.
Is it okay if I tweet out the link for this right now because we're
use
live?
My handle.
Okay, I will.
Well, Buffet to the film buffer that deranged.
I'm going L.L.P. with in the buff right now.
Do it, and I'm going to jot down some old-fashioned dotsies.
So,
you know what? We're just going to riff a little bit.
All right. So, Dan.
Yes.
I have a question for you.
I have an answer.
Because me and you have been dancing around this question. For a little bit.
Yes.
The Bear.
The Bear.
How fantastic of a show was this?
It was an out of nowhere kind of experience for me. Because, look, to compare it to something, Better Call Saul came out, Vince Gilligan, and Peter Gould were doing it. They couldn't mess that up. And they haven't. It's been extraordinary. And it's going to end in less than a month, which is kind of sad. But The Bear on Hulu, which is it's a show that just kind of comes out of nowhere because it feels at first like, okay, we're watching Lip from Shameless in Chicago, but as a chef. He looks ruffled. He looks like an unkempt Sean Penn. If they ever made a story about Sean Penn, Jeremy Allen White could play the shit out of that role. But hold on, let me keep going.
Go on.
I'm going to let you go, but the gun is locked and loaded over there. John is at the thing. He's at the microphone. But this show was great because the cast of characters it had in the kitchen, the intensity they had in the conversations. Everybody you've talked to, I worked in a kitchen a few times, but I've been able to I walked through quite a lot of kitchens. Loud, it's intense. You got to watch your footing. It's slippery. Everybody's like cursing. It's just the way it is. And this show got that right. And I just think everybody, the whole cast, even a little Oliver Platt showing up and just classing up the joint. The moments where him and his cousin, Richie, they just go off on each other. And do you notice that this is the second time the actor who plays Richie and John Bernthal, who has a very small role, but as I have stated many times, a little bit of John Bernthal goes a long way on this show. They were on The Punisher together.
Yes.
Okay. And so go off. Now we've given a good hard bite into The Bear, which I think we both agree is a damn masterpiece.
The Bear is so perfect, and I'm going to say why The Bear is so perfect. Here that is for you, sir. Here's why The Bear is so perfect. If you're a fan of Shameless and the character Lip,
exactly the way they think,
I can't think of the kids.
Switch out the math and the science for culinary.
I can't think of the gentleman's name who plays Lip, who's now
Jeremy Allen White.
I'm sorry, say what?
Jeremy Allen White is essentially known for this and that one Julia Roberts show where she was on Amazon. She was the therapist, Homecoming. He's on that one too. And
movie 43.
Yes.
So, and movie 43 was fantastic. I don't if you're a comedy fan. So here, hold on. Tom, I'm going to pump your brakes real quick and I'm going to get this off my chest. Here's what I love about, what's his name? Jeremy
Allen White.
Thank you.
Who's kind of really known, as you said, for Shameless. Before this.
If you loved him in Shameless, this is almost a step up.
A spinoff.
And a step up of Lip.
A better name.
And a better character.
Carmy.
And a better character.
Yeah.
And a better, and he's better in an actor in it.
And, I'm gonna go off. You have like 5 seconds.
Oh, dude. And I'm gonna let you know, this show, like, and the gentleman who you were talking about, John Barathol is fantastic in that show.
John Barathol is fantastic. Whenever he shows up, yeah.
But the asshole who plays his cousin, who was the asshole who was in The Punisher.
Season 2.
Season 1. Yep, season 1.
Wait a minute.
Yep, he was in season 1. Come at me, bro. Come at me, bro.
Hey,
he was in season 1.
I want to hold you to it.
Oh yeah, I'm
trying to look up his name because he looks very. There's Berthel.
Here, John Berthel.
You cannot miss. There he is. Eben. It's Eban or Eben Moss Bachrach, and he was in. He was born in 1977. He's notable on IMDb for Girls, playing Desi Harpo, and oh yeah, he plays the man. And my mind goes to an immediate
season 1.
An immediate Girls scene where a girl is getting pleasured very early on in an episode by this actor from behind. Just saying, that show, Tokyo Project, John Adams with Paul Giamatti, and The Punisher. Micro
in season 1 of The Punisher.
Okay, so season 1 I thought was Ben Barnes.
Nope. Well, Ben Barnes was in both seasons.
Damn. Dude, hey, I cut myself corrected because
I'm a Punisher fan. Oh, listen, I'm
a Punisher fan too.
I'm a comic book
and this is why if I'm gonna get corrected, I better get corrected right by a guy wearing a cool shirt. Lost Losers Podcast. John, this is his lair we're in. Look at the television screen. Look at the beauty in that red shirt. So, I'm wearing a blue shirt, but I am representing South.
So hear me out.
City. No, I don't want to hurt you out.
Back to Bear.
The Bear.
The cousin.
8 episodes, right?
Eight. Yeah. The cousin who was in Punisher season 1.
Because he had a lot of time with Bernthal in that show.
I was so mad at him the first couple of episodes of Bear that I had to look him up and be like, oh, now I get why he's playing this kind of character.
Yeah. It's kind of like,
but he was fantastic.
He's the annoying family member that you cannot alienate because when, and let me just dish this plot really quick. Chef Carmi Berzatto comes back from the culinary excellence of the best restaurant in the world to take over his original beef. Essentially that good hot Italian beef with the vegetables cooked in, the fries next to it if you want. But it's just really, it's an artisan style is what he brings back to this restaurant. But he also runs into a cast of misfit toys. He has Gloria. Is that Gloria the one that kind of bangs heads with, what is her name? I'm looking it up. This is what you can do when you have a phone in front of you, folks. You can look this up because the list of these characters in this show are not your normal ones. You have Sydney Adamu, who is played by Ayo Edebari. And then you have Marcus the Baker, played by Lionel Boyce.
So Marcus the Baker was fantastic. So here's what I love about this show more than anything.
She's great.
Everybody was cast perfectly.
Is perfectly. Because you know why? That's the thing, folks. That's why I had to look it up. I know them more by these creations. These people are not like this. Gloria is not going to purposely let the onions overcook. Okay, in real life.
Especially the older Hispanic lady that was
Gloria.
Gloria, yeah.
I thought it was heartbreaking. But go ahead.
You could see everybody perfectly cast in these roles. Like you could walk into a South Chicago deli tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you could see those there. You can see those people right there.
That's the thing about the show. I mean, there's a really great show. And look, this has been out for a while, so we'll just call this a little bit of spoilers. But late in the first season, there's a scene between Chef Carmi, who has come back to kind of rehabilitate the restaurant, that his brother Michael Berzatto, played by John Bernthal, who kind of makes a little bit of an appearance in one episode, kind of his little voice flashovers in some. But it's mostly a Jeremy Allen White show with a lot of great supporting acts, including Oliver Platt, who always cooks, who always pops up in a good cook-related show. He was in Chef.
Oh my God, that's one of my favorite movies.
And really, it's just a show about grief because nobody is handling the sudden suicide of Michael, who was the life of the party. And one of the greatest moments of the series, it's in episode number 8, where Carmy finally sits down the place he should have been months ago in a seat in front of other addicts. He's an alcoholic. I mean, he's bitten that drug, and he's telling the story of his brother, Michael, who they grew up together. They kind of bonded. That's where they got the cooking gene from. But then somewhere along the line, this is where the show really kind of gets me, is that it leaves you wondering what, for the whole season, what made Michael refrain or pull himself away from Carmy. But what it was, and I'm going to get this out, and I want to let you take it home here, is it allowed him to kind of say, you know, I don't know what would hurt my brother towards the end, but Carmy holds a little bit of regret of not being able to fix it himself. And so he wants to fix the restaurant, but he finds out in the end, folks, that his brother wanted him to create his own thing.
Yeah.
And that is the beauty. It felt like, I mean, this is what I'm going to say. I may tweet this out. It had newsroom first season energy. You thought you were watching something. You're like, this is, I mean, when you watch something great, folks, your heart rate rises. Movies happen. It happens in movies, but in TV shows where it sustains over 8 to 12, 6 maybe in a bad case, 14 or 15. Most shows these days on any network, any streaming services, 6 to 10 episodes. So that's a commitment. And when you kind of get going for every episode, as I've rewatched it 3 times now, it just gets better every time. And the music, I can't say it enough. I have all the sound, all the big hits. David Byrne. Gosh, I think I'm messing up the name. But David Byrne and Brian Eno. They do that duet, a great song when they're cooking in the beginning of the first episode. Then Radiohead has a great song in the finale. John, you're gonna take it home. This has basically been what we wanted to do the other day.
Yeah.
The Bear deep dive, but go for it.
So, oh my God!
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead,
Hold
bro.
on.
Go
You've been asking me fucking questions all night. I'm gonna kick it in the. Here comes Gangster Buffy. You ready?
Go, bro.
Can we get a timer? Let's get a timer.
Here,
hold on.
Go ahead.
Here we go. We're gonna do a visit. This is gonna be a fictional character. This is gonna be our first fictional character, but he gets a timer.
Dude,
so I'm telling you, just roll with me on this. I'm kind of demented right now.
All right. So no, you're good, bro.
You missed.
So
45 seconds. Here we go.
All right. So you want me to talk about the Bear and why I hate dog.
But
all right.
Oh man.
If anybody who's ever battled depression and suicide and all that shit,
yeah,
bro,
you can relate to it.
Oh, and who has ever put themselves on the line so hard that they've it's delicious, right?
Superior hydration. It's like your body's like, hello.
Right? It's fucking fantastic.
Especially if you need it. But go on. Yeah. I think, let me just mention a movie, A Star is Born, handled addiction and grief. And
I'm talking quietly. I'm talking about the character Bear himself. Okay. Joe McHale, I love Joe McHale as a stand-up comedian. I love him on Talk Soup.
He was brutal in that scene. Brutal.
Right.
And you know why? He's so much taller than Jeremy Allen White.
And talking to my cousin who has worked in the kitchen, he was like, dude, being in the kitchen, that's what it's like. He was like, and he didn't tell me. I didn't call him after that episode to ask him about it.
Sure.
He's told me over the years, dude, it's just been like, that fucking holy cow, that,
it's the kind of show that in the first 15 minutes of the first episode, keep going. Go ahead.
But it hit on every note.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It did. Emotionally, it made you laugh. It was kind of like Rescue Me to me. A Dennis Leary firefighter show, which kind of had a good combination of laughs and drama. You didn't really know what to expect when to cry because, like we were mentioning, Gloria has a moment with Jeremy Allen White later in the season. The actress who plays Now I Know This Actress is Gloria, the one who let the onions burn and make Sydney look bad.
Yeah.
But that's where it goes from that rivalry to a friendship. And I love that they all called Chef. But there's a scene, one of my favorite scenes, second favorites, is where Gloria tells Carmy about Michael. She goes, we didn't have napkins. And
who was the sous chef? The young black lady.
Sydney. Sydney was kind of like the also with the original beef. The restaurant in the show needed. She was kind of the young burst of energy.
Sydney, whoever Sydney is, what's her name?
Io Edabari. I think Io. If you're listening, to this, you go what?
Perfectly fucking cast.
She was because she has a stare.
Oh my god.
She was the edge. And I thought I'm gonna look him up too. Edwin Lee Gibson, who played Abraham. He goes, he always just pops in with a weird note. The guy that I guess that sautés the veggies.
Yeah.
He's like, hello, everybody. He kind of has this accent. He goes, oh, I've been in the war.
Yeah. All right. So
I just love it.
Yeah. And here's the other person I love more than anybody. Was the guy who was like the dishwasher, who was like, "Hey, chef," and he just like popped out of nowhere.
Yeah, he was.
It was like, "I need you guys to do this before you bring it to us." And he goes, "Oh," they're like, "Okay, cool." And they're like, "That's it. All right, cool."
Or the fixer guy. Yeah. That was good.
All right.
But you know what, folks? It is, and honestly, the one thing about in the buff that you'll get in the coming weeks, we're talking about Juan Soto and what the Cardinals could do. And here comes the closing hour. Now, this closer isn't going to blow shit. He isn't going to go in there and come with a 4-3 lead and leave with a 5-4 loss. For 45 fucking seconds, we get a letter from OG Buffa here to Mr. John Mozeliak or Michael Gersh, whoever writes the checks, Bill DeWitt, juniors, all the juniors. Here we go. You don't have to get Juan Soto, but you have to get somebody. Okay, there's Jojo Romero for Edmundo Sosa is fine. You were clearing space, but if you can't leave Washington, D.C. with Mr. Soto, who is a legit fucking monster, you had to go out and get Thor, the god of thunder, who you can't get Hemsworth because he can't pitch.
That's Noah Syndergaard.
Noah Syndergaard and not a Frankie Montas, man. His shoulder issues, his 1-year status. Noah costs money and not prospect. Go get some pitching. If you cannot shore up your lineup, they can hit. Check the stats. Get some fucking pitching. I'm out. Look at that.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
You never know when we're going to be
subscribe. We'll be back.
Check me out in the buff.
In
at
the buff.
Buff82. Subscribe.